Hey everyone, it's me, Lauren Jackson, an APQS sales representative and educator, and I am here today to show you how to do a fast and fun ruler work border design. We are going to do a super fun hexagonal type design with a filler, and you're going to see how quick and easy it is to stitch out. All you're going to need is a marking ruler so that you can mark your border on the fabric. You're going to need your straight edge ruler. I'll be using my Bold Notion Quilting Stunning straight edge with all the different degree markings, and maybe even a hexagon style template that I might have lying around. We'll see what we end up getting done here, but it's going to be a fun one. And you'll also want to have a free motion filler in your back pocket so that you can pull it out and do a quick fill with me too. We are going to make a 3-inch border. I'm just lining this up with my previous border. Just go the full length here, okay? And I'm just going to be using my hexagon Border Buddy long arm quilting ruler, and I'm going to use this to make the design. If you have any rotary rulers that you use for piecing that are hexagons, that can be a fantastic way to do this as well. So all I'm going to do is take it and just kind of mark the angles of the hexagon. It's easier with my ruler base on. Okay, take it, line it up with the bottom. This was the easiest way to mark it. So again, if you've got like a hexagon template of some type, that is the easiest way to go. Okay, so you've got your little trapezoids in there. Next, you're going to need a straight edge ruler to quilt the design. And we're going to go ahead and stitch in our ditch first, as always. We'll start up here because the top actually is pretty ditched. So you're going to need to utilize that first 1/4 inch marking line on your ruler with your ditch lines and your marking lines to give yourself a 1/2 inch. We're going to stitch in until we are about 1/4 inch from the edge of our foot to that first marking line. And that's because we're going to line that first marking line up, and we're going to stitch it until we are about 1/4 inch from the edge of our foot to our ditch. Okay? And then we're going to stitch it. We're going to stitch it till we're about 1/4 inch from the edge of our hopping foot to our marked line. And then we're going to stitch it. Oh, I might have gone too far. I did. Okay. This is the hardest part, just remembering to stop. So next we're going to come up and we're going to follow that line 1/2 inch away to give us that 1/2 inch channel. It should have us meeting with our borders. Okay, stitch 1/2 inch away, stop with your needle 1/2 inch away. We're melting into the sides. Come back down, and we're melting. Okay, so we're going to come down and we're going to do the next portion 1/2 inch away. Usually if I'm close by like a stitch, I'll just put my ruler up to where I need to go. You're gonna come to that purple line and stop. Stitch down, do the same thing. Get all of your echoes in there. The hardest part was making that channel to flow all the way through, which is why it might have looked a little bit confusing, but it's fun. You could stop right here and fill things in if you wanted to, just in there, as opposed to continuing to do more ruler work. Alright, so now the coolest part about this is that it actually is free flowing through, so if you wanted to do some kind of dividing design, you could with your free motion quilting. You could cut your threads so you're not constantly backtracking, but this is your channel right in here. If you're having a hard time knowing where you're going, there is no shame with marking that channel. Now, if this is white on white thread, you won't see a whole lot of the loops and the threads going not where they should. But if you're doing this with contrasting color and it's visually impactful, you may find yourself wanting to maybe stitch around it so that it's not so apparent what happens. So that was way too fast. And the goal really is just to add color for contrast. If you want to go back in there and quilt all those dense areas, you can, but I recommend using a much thicker thread for something like that. And if you hate it, you can just scribble all over it and pretend like you meant to do that, and it'll work out. So from afar you can see how visually impactful that is, and it can be fun. You can go in and just do some, back and forth fillers. If you make this channel twice as wide, you could do fillers, or use maybe even your circle rulers or templates that you have to make, really rigid, geometric, hard ruler work designs to complement that. But I just want to take a second and show you this super cool hexagonal design that you could put in there and do some cool channel quilting to kind of allow for some difference and contrast and breaking up the space on your quilt top. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this quick border work tutorial today. I hope that it helps you to take and elevate your quilting forward. Again, I'm Lauren Jackson with APQS Professional Quilting Systems, and we are so happy to bring you these videos here today. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel above. You can hit the little bell to get notifications, so that way whenever we put out new content, you guys can see it. And be sure to share in your favorite Facebook, Instagram, whatever groups, so that they can see and play around with some of the designs as well.